What day is it?
Right now, technically Friday.
So this is the end of the week.
Mm-hmm.
So we're saying like the stuff that happened prior to this was in the middle of the week?
As long as it was after Raw, yeah.
So after Monday, but before Friday.
Well, technically before Thursday night.
Close enough. Midweek wrap-up, folks.
Hey!
We're going to talk about the fun stuff that happens in the middle of the bookends that we call Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah,
Not to be confused with the bookend, the move, but the bookend, the objects that hold books on a shelf.
Yes. Yeah, fun stuff. It could have been more fun, in my opinion. It wasn't bad, it was just wasn't as entertaining as usual.
It's the moment of, like, dear shows that we watch during the midweek. You've given us really, really high expectations.
Yeah.
And now when you don't live up to said high expectations, we get kind of sad.
I was glad Raw was good.
Raw was really good.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe Raw had my hopes so high that I thought, like, NXT and Lucha Underground.
Raw's this good.
Yeah, if Raw is this good, NXT and Lucha Underground are going to blow my freaking mind. And, not really.
Yeah.
Well, let's start with main event, like we always do on the midweek wrap-up. We had Erick Rowan taking on Curtis Axel in our opening contest.
Axelmania running wild. Except sort of not.
Yeah, he's been in the Royal Rumble now for 42 days and some odd crazy amounts of hours and seconds and minutes and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
This was a very simple match. There wasn't a lot to talk about in this. Erick Rowan did get the win with the full Nelson Slam. He's back to changing up his finishers. He did the pump handle backbreaker in the middle of the match. Didn't get the win with it there.
Let's just face it, he doesn't have a finisher.
Yeah, it changes from match to match. But
Yeah.
He needs to beard butt them. And
I
that's
don't-
the finish.
he just
Steel wool beard to the face.
like Mr. Socko with his beard, just like
Shoves his beard down their throat. Yeah. Just,
You
that's some
know,
scary stuff.
I might pop if he tried that ever.
fucking weird.
I'd be like, why is Erick Rowan trying to make out with Big Show?
No, but Vince McMahon, I have a question for you specifically.
Uh-oh.
Hi.
This isn't going to be a big long rant. Just a simple question. How come Curtis Axel is allowed to get over organically and get, like, a bit of a push, but, like, people I like aren't? Don't get me wrong. I'm on board with Curtis Axel's current gimmick.
Are you an Axelmaniac?
Not quite, but I'm a bit behind this. But then there's like Zack Ryder, who was fantastic and got over organically, but no, can't have that. Daniel Bryan, who was the best main eventer you had, and now Intercontinental title. Why? Why can some people get over organically and some can't? It's my question. That's it. I told you, it's not going to be a big, long rant. Just a simple question.
Good question. Let's add a question mark to the end of that and send it into the mail.
Moving on, we had Fandango taking on Adam Rose. This is a match. This is a rematch from a couple of weeks ago, I believe, on the same show. Again, very simple match. Fandango getting the win with a roll-up after Adam Rose tried to roll up Fandango and put his feet up on the ropes. Ref told him, no, not in that corner.
Yeah, you can't be over there.
And then Fandango got the roll-up, and I think the most... Granted, I like both these guys, but I think the most impressive part of this match was watching Rosa run halfway around the ring in high heels.
Yeah, the one thing I like, standout part of this, and it's something I think they need to utilize a lot more with Fandango, is his new gimmick turning point.
Yeah,
where he had the bit where it's like, he's Fandango, he's wrestling, and then Adam Rose started poking fun at him, and he's like shoving the lollipop in his face, and then Fandango like slaps it out of his hand, and gives him the double leg and just starts pounding on his face.
Yeah, watching Fandango get that mean streak for a second is something that his characters needed, because with him being the dancer gimmick, you don't expect.
Yeah.
You don't expect that rage to come out, but when it does, it puts a different it puts a different feel into the match, and then you're like, okay, now that should be like Fandango's way of like coming back in the match and then getting the win.
Yeah, it's not too unexpected for me. I mean, he changed up his gear so he didn't quite have the look going, but he adopted the Steve Blackman look recently.
With the black pants.
Yeah, the black pants and the
white
tape.
wrist tape.
Yeah.
Alright. He was wearing red in this match.
Yeah. So he's Red Steve Blackman. He's Steve Redman.
I heard that in stereo. Moving on, we had a tag team match where the Primetime Players took on the Ascension again. The Ascension lost again. Much more definitive this time than the quick roll-up that Darren Young got last time. And even though I know it might induce vomiting.
No.
I gotta say it.
No, it's gonna induce face punching.
Titus O'Neil pinned Connor with the Clash of the Titus.
Thomas over here is allergic to bullshit booking.
Any comments?
Nope. I've said my piece.
Kevin?
Plead the fifth.
Fair enough. And then our main event, we had Nikki Bella, the Divas Champion, taking on Naomi. I wanted more, but...
Well, yeah, we know the Divas. We always want more out of the Divas. Unfortunately, it was a Bella match.
Yeah.
And they seem to be taking the lazy side out of things recently.
Which kind of really bothers me about the match that they decided to put for Mania.
Yeah.
The Bellas taking on Paige and AJ in a tag team match. The title's not even on the line.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was technically sound.
Yeah,
I liked the
Naomi did great.
The Bella strategy of working over Naomi's leg.
Yeah, doing the snapmare into the ropes was a good one. Naomi had some good spots trying to fight off both Nikki and Brie, but overall it was something missing.
Yeah,
maybe a strong heel. But that was it for main event. Let's move on to Lucha.
They were starting to do so good too.
I know, right? No, they hit that thing and they're like, oh, we're doing really good. Let's do something. Oh fuck.
Yeah,
back down into the valley.
It just bugs me because Nikki has gone on record saying that she is jealous that the divas on NXT are given the time to perform and put on good matches. And then she goes and starts...
You had 10 minutes, Nikki.
Yeah. Like, you were putting on pretty good matches, and then you said that, and now you're putting on shit matches again. Fuck.
Maybe she's silently protesting.
Don't do that.
Let's move on to Lucha Underground, our middle of the midweek show. Yeah.
The midweek.
The midweek. We opened up Pentagon Jr. taking on Argenis. These two, shit. Like, I
feel like there was a beef between these guys.
Yeah, they were it looked like they were legit trying to just hurt each other.
Yeah, with Pentagon Jr. succeeding way more.
Yeah, well, Pentagon Jr.'s been on his tirade lately.
Yeah.
With the breaking of the arms.
Yeah.
I don't know who Argenis pissed off and he was going against all the jobbers, and now all of a sudden this.
Well, still technically, I mean, kind of to it. Argenis hasn't done really anything in Lucha Underground yet. He hasn't really won.
Yeah, I think he's had 2 matches. He's lost them both.
Yeah. It was a fun match, but I mean, those two, specifically those 2 counters that Pentagon used on Argenis that were just fuck yous right in his face.
The drop kick out of the springboard was messed up.
Where he fucking threw him
at the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not threw him threw him at.
Pentagon
he
Jr.
hit that shit upside down, chest first.
Pentagon Jr. ends
bounced
up
out.
picking up the win with his arm bar. Arhannis gives up, but he still keeps it on and ends up separating the shoulder.
Definitely, though, the highest profiled victim
Yes.
of Pentagon's attack so far.
Yeah, I think we're getting closer to finding out whoever is Pentagon Jr.'s master.
Maybe Pentagon just hates quitters.
They quit from the submission hold, and he gets really mad and breaks the arm.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a bad way to test people. Then we had a little backstage segment where Katrina tells Phoenix he may be the man of 1,000 lives, but Mo Mortis will not stop until he has destroyed all of them.
I didn't put that together until like she spelled it out for me like that. They're like, "Oh my god, this is awesome!"
Saying Phoenix,
yeah, like
saying that the only way that Phoenix can get rid of Mo Mortis is to bury him.
yeah.
So
he calls
sign
Triple
him
H.
to NXT.
Yeah.
And change his name to Middle Ono.
Then Conan made a new cane out of like steel.
And named it the Director of Operations of Lucha Underground.
Conan's Revenge is still coming. This is the second
That's
week.
the name of the cane, I think, actually.
Conan's Revenge.
Revenge is the name of the cane.
I call it Big Glenn.
Jesus Then we had...
Which, by the way, is the name of Kurt Hawkins' cane that he carries to the ring.
Big Glenn?
Yeah.
Watch don't ever change.
Watch the Mid-Card Mafia or whatever it is cartoon that they made.
Oh, yeah.
But the cane talked, and his name was Glenn.
Oh. Then we had a little vignette of King Cuerno arriving 15 minutes prior to the main event cage match that we're getting, where King Cuerno will take on Johnny Mundo. But before we got there, we had Angelico taking on Ivelisse with Son of Havoc as the special guest referee.
The match advertised last week.
Yes. This was fun. This match, I like. We got a little taste of this a couple weeks ago when we had the first Ivelisse versus Angelico. Angelico just really trying to mess with Ivelisse the whole way through.
Yeah, I mean, but in the same vein, you know, he was trying to wrestle, sort of, but he's trying not to hit her.
Yeah, there was... She kept chopping him, hit me! And he's like, no, I'm not going to do it. And then she'd chop him again. The Son of Havoc was trying to get involved, but trying not to get involved.
Wait a
at the
minute,
same time.
you're talking about the love interest of one of the wrestlers as the special guest referee, and he was being biased?
Well, there were times when he was trying, and times when he wasn't trying to get involved.
Some sort of, like, inspired by a partnership of a person who's in the match cheating of a referee. God, what will they think of next in wrestling?
Only time will tell. But yeah, Son of
I
Havoc.
might put something on a poll in the future.
Dude, if that happens...
Sure, and then they're gonna put somebody's mom on a forklift.
It could happen.
Sounds like something WCW would do. So Son of Havoc ends up like picking up Ivelisse or something, and it pisses off Angelico where he goes for a kick on Son of Havoc. Son of Havoc moves and he ends up kicking Ivelisse in the head.
Knocks her out.
And then does the what do you call it?
The alligator clutch.
The alligator clutch pin, which is the naughtiest looking pin in wrestling. And
Also,
butt sex pin.
Also, Kimberly's finishing move.
Is there a finishing move?
Mm-hmm.
Still the butt sex
Really?
pin.
Yeah, the alligator clutch. That's why Dickinson pinned her that way, because it was using her own finish against her.
Gotcha. All right. So yeah, Angelico ends up getting the win, and Son of Havoc. I'm surprised Son of Havoc counted the 3.
Well, he is the referee.
He
That's kind of contractually obligated.
also his girlfriend got knocked out via kick to the head and was getting butt sex pinned. So
He's just trying to get it over with.
yeah.
Then we had another backstage segment where Katrina met up with Mo Mortis, saying that she 1,000 deaths were coming for him at the hands of Phoenix. That Phoenix was going to put him in a coffin and make him remember how he felt being that little boy that climbed out of the earthquake. And he's just she ends up leaving the rock on the bench for him. That he hasn't had control of that for a while. She's always been carrying it around.
Well, yeah.
So
I mean, it's been off doing movies. So.
So I think we're building towards a potential casket match between Phoenix and Mo Mortis. So.
I think that'd be a really cool match. I love casket matches just in general.
Yeah.
Great gimmick match.
And to see someone else other than...
Because there's really no other match like a casket match. You have like cage match, but then you have all the different variations of the cage match.
Yeah.
Hell in a Cell, Elimination Chamber, Kennel from Hell.
we don't talk about that.
Other weapon-related matches, ladder match, cage match, or chairs match, tables match,
Stairs
that
match.
kind of thing. But then
We don't talk
there's
about
only
that
really
either.
one kind of match where your goal is to shut your opponent in a box.
Yeah. And that's what this is. So yeah, I'm definitely intrigued at the idea.
Also, I completely missed that whole backstage segment. Apparently,
I know you did. That's okay. That's why I told you about it. And then in our main event, we had Johnny Mundo taking on King Cuerno in a cage match. The very first cage match in Lucha Underground.
Was badass.
They whooped the shit out of each other.
there were a lot of fun spots. I kept looking at the cage and going, who put that together, though? The panels didn't seem to have any rhyme or reason to, where they were placed and the type of chain link changed between some of them.
Well, I think because you're talking in the middle, it seemed like it was more.
Well, on one side, there was three panels, and then on the opposite side, there was 4 panels, where there was 2, and then the center was split into two separate panels. Strange looking cage match.
I'm not gonna say it.
Do it.
I'm not gonna say.
Do it.
I'm really curious.
Do it. Who put the cage together?
No, you'd think Mexicans would know how to put a cage together.
Oh, Jesus. All right, we're moving on. I didn't think he was going to get racist with it. All right. Despite
you do find all those things.
Despite how the cage looked, these two there was a lot of great usage of the cage. A lot of just really intense, just face smashing. We had Cuerno grinding Johnny's face against the side.
The bit where he chucked him and he landed with his ribs on the top of the cage.
Yeah, he had a flapjack.
And then he yanked him down the side of the cage.
Yeah. And then there was the spot where Cuerno was almost out, but Johnny had a hold of his mask. And so to preserve his lineage of the mask, he brought himself back into the cage to avoid being unmasked.
Yeah.
Even though unmasking would have meant he won the match. So
yeah.
There was a lot of really good usage of the lucha libre beliefs as far as the mask goes, and then Johnny Mundo, just his athleticism is awesome in a cage. But Johnny Mundo ends up getting the win, hitting the end of the world off the top of the cage.
Yeah.
He's
That's pretty rad.
He's just about to jump out, and he kind of hooks one knee up on the top, and he looks and he goes, "Nah, I can make this cooler."
That's my "what would Jeff Hardy do" spot.
Oh yeah,
that
definitely.
They always bring it out, the face always brings out in a cage match. Where I just think they get there and they're like, "What would Jeff Hardy do?"
Finish her off the top. Yeah. Yep, that's going to happen. And he does it, and Johnny Mundo gets the win. So, is this the end of this feud?
Probably.
They've been going for a few weeks now.
Cuerno seems to be a quick feuder.
Yeah. He didn't quite get the job done, so we'll probably end up seeing maybe Johnny Mundo end up being the third person that teams with Big Rick and Sexy Star to take on the crew.
Possible.
Yeah.
But we'll have to wait and see. That was it for Lucha Underground. We're going to move on to NXT. We opened up
10 minutes.
That should be enough.
Not for hard for this one.
What?
So not hard for this one.
Yeah.
We opened up with the number 1 contenders match for the tag team titles. Enzo and Cass taking on the Lucha Dragons. Enzo and Cass in rare form. Now they're back on the main roster as far as NXT is concerned. This was probably the strongest match I've seen Enzo in.
Yeah.
Enzo was doing some good stuff in this.
Yeah, they're definitely stepping up their game now that I think realizing that they're being utilized in a story.
Yeah.
That isn't like goofy.
Yeah. Having the heel promo towards them from Blake and Murphy. They're working their way towards the tag titles. Enzo and Cass, we almost thought they were going to lose because we had very much the vaudevillain spot when the Lucha Dragons do the double dive. Cass pushes Enzo out of the way. Enzo's the legal man. So Cass gets knocked down. We see Kalisto throw Enzo back in. And
they hit the Sin Cara Sunset Powerbomb, and Kalisto goes to the top to hit a finish.
I freaking love Cass, like, from this moment on in this match.
Yeah.
Because Cass saves the day.
Because he just comes in, boots Sin Cara in the... Or Kalisto...
No, boots Sin Cara in the face. Sin Cara runs into Kalisto, which knocks Kalisto down.
Yeah, but Cass isn't legal, so he drags Enzo back to his corner and tags himself in.
Which was really, I mean, the reason why that 5-count rule was instated is like that's just enough time to go out and help your partner and bring him back over to your corner so you can tag.
Mm-hmm. And they utilize it really well. Cass tags himself in, hits the gunslinger on Sin Cara, I believe. Or no, on Kalisto.
Because it was the biggest guy slamming the littlest guy.
That's right. Hits it on Kalisto, tags in Enzo, does the assisted splash.
Fucking, like, with extra assist, though, because he didn't just throw him. He, like, pulled him down, too.
And I think we're all in agreement we're going to start calling that the Rocky and Bullwinkle. Yeah. Because that was straight up flying squirrel. Enzo gets the 3 over Kalisto, and the number 1 contenders are now Enzo and Cass.
Yeah.
So they are moving on to a tag team title match against the Dubstep Cowboys. Our next match, we had Alexa Bliss making her return to NXT, taking on Carmella. Unfortunately, Carmella's not strong enough.
Yeah, Carmella, why you hold back Alexa Bliss?
Because she's Carmella.
She used to be a hairdresser. That's all she knows how to do. I felt really bad for Alexa Bliss.
Can we get Carmella in a hair versus hair match? Just to play off the hairdresser gimmick. That'd be cool.
Then she joins Marcus Louis.
Yeah.
Her versus Bruce Beefcake.
Oh, God. Alexa Bliss tried really hard. She had a great showing despite the fact that she didn't have a very strong opponent.
I dig the new finisher.
Yeah, Sparkle Splash. I'm
cartwheel splash off the rope.
I like it. She was definitely in the right mindset. She just needed someone stronger to go against. So I don't fault Alexa. I put all the fault on Carmella.
Karma.
Yeah, Karma's a bitch like Carmella.
Luckily, at least there wasn't anything that was like so screwed up that it took away from the match.
The main thing is Carmella got no reaction.
Yeah,
which
is rare in NXT.
No one gave a shit. Usually, if especially going against Alexa, you'd expect some boos. There wasn't even boos. They just didn't care.
Yeah, they're not drunk. There was no booze involved. Next match.
We had Alex Riley's promo just before going into his match against CJ Parker. This was probably the highlight for Alex Riley. In this episode. His promo was really good.
No, I've been digging Alex Riley promo-wise in this feud. Because his promos with Regal were pretty good, too.
Yes.
But match-wise, he's not that great.
Yeah.
That bullshit's back. No, I mean, I zoned out during this segment because it was really, really weird coincidence that whenever Alex Riley shows up on the screen, all of a sudden I start thinking about beaches.
Well, was it like the ocean?
No, just like the beach portion.
Huh.
Oh.
And like how some like I wish that there was a way that I could bring the beach home with me in some sort of a sack or satchel.
Satchel, the guitars from Steel Panther.
No, he's talking like a backpack or
yeah,
like a
messenger bag
Ooh,
kind of thing.
okay.
yeah
Bag, like a bag full of sand.
Mm.
I wish I could have a bag full of sand from the beach.
But before the match, we had
Alex Riley, you sandbagging son of a bitch.
before that match, we had Tyler Breeze telling Hideo Itami that he's going to find out in the main event that Tyler Breeze, or the King of Cuteville, isn't just a pretty face. Then we had our Riley versus Parker. Riley, I was interested in this match because I did like Alex Riley when he first came on the scene, and then he faded away into obscurity. So to see him come back, I was intrigued to see where his progression was.
the crowd was behind him.
The crowd was way behind him, which surprised me because I didn't get as emotionally invested in this.
Yeah.
As the crowd was excited for it. I
mean, I wasn't super on board with the whole rage aspect, but given the quality of his promos, I was like, okay, I'm interested. He did a couple cool little things, comparatively for him. Let me put that caveat on it.
Okay.
Okay, he had a nice clothesline.
Yeah.
That's specifically what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And he did the freaking Moonlight Drive.
Yeah.
And the blockbuster.
And then, his finisher was the blockbuster.
You know, three cool things,
Yeah.
I'll say. But, you know, it's like, Riley got better, but he didn't get good.
Yeah.
And he's going to get got.
Yeah, because Kevin Owens, after Riley picks up the win over Parker, comes out and says that it's a good thing that you look as good as you do because you are the stupidest man in NXT, because I made you give up your commentary career, and now I'm going to end your in-ring career as well. And then after that, I'm going to put a stop to the rise of Finn Balor.
Oh, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were raising your hand.
Why couldn't this gimmick be with Titus?
Because Kevin Owens refused to work with Titus O'Neil.
I think
Probably.
that's how I had my question for Vince. That's your question for Triple H.
Yeah, Hunter. Book Owens versus Titus, please. Make it no DQ. Loser leaves town. Let them shoot on each other, maybe.
Have Owens
There's
sign
no
a
guns involved.
Have
Not shoot
Owens
each other, shoot on
sign a
each other.
contract absolving him from any ramifications for what he may do to Titus O'Neil in the match.
Yeah, there we go. Awesome. Hunter, please. For my birthday. Got a couple months. We'll win the main event.
NXT's going to start looking like Ferguson.
Is this the racist rundown tonight?
It is. Then we had our main event, Tyler Breeze taking on Hideo Itami. This has been a feud building since...
Insert Asian joke here.
Yep, this is our only chance. So,
Well,
it's
they
your
fired
turn.
all the other Asians.
Jesus.
I like this match though.
This was good. This is... we were talking about it
Yeah.
while the match was going. I love the fact that the basis of this feud is that Tyler Breeze is pissed off that Hideo Itami lost to Finn Balor.
Yeah.
He's like, you ruined your chance of being... You ruined my chance of being NXT champion because you couldn't beat Finn Balor. And so he's like trying to prove... He's trying to reprove himself.
Yeah. The idea is like, okay, you lost to Finn. I think I could have beat Finn, and I'm going to prove it by beating you.
But the question is, why didn't Tyler beat Hideo in the tournament in the first place?
Because he
to
had
get
an
a
off
chance. Huh?
He had an off day. Sometimes, sometimes the better man doesn't win necessarily. At least,
60% of the time, it works every time.
yeah.
Fair enough.
At least in Breeze's mind, like that was a fluke.
The last time, I think, did we have a match between these two after the tournament?
They opened up the last takeover.
Yeah.
And we had Hideo go over
Shut up, Bones.
Yes.
Stop it.
Hideo went over.
You don't get to tell us to stop talking about NXT.
Yeah. So yeah, we were all kind of expecting Hideo to walk away with a win in this one, but Hideo goes for his corner drop kick. Tyler moves, and as Hideo gets back up, Tyler hits him with a beauty shot, and Tyler Breeze gets the win.
Did surprise me.
Well, if you listen to Tyler Breeze's theme song, it shouldn't surprise you. He says specifically that his beauty shot will take you down.
And it did. And it scored him the win in the main event of NXT. So I'm definitely excited to see more matches between these two.
Yeah.
I think we'll probably get maybe the feud ender maybe at the next takeover, since it is rapidly approaching. I think we get it in 2 weeks. 2 weeks is going to be the next takeover. It's the Wednesday before Mania, which is coming up real fast. But that is it for NXT. That is it for the midweek wrap-up. Post down in the comments what you thought about the midweek shows. Be sure to like, favorite, subscribe. Follow us on all of our Twitters, our Facebook, the Tumblr, all that stuff. We post some updates, stuff that we find interesting. We've got our daily WWE trivia, or this day in WWE history. We have our weekend trivia, all on the Facebook page. Be sure to check that stuff out. Click over to the other videos over in the playlist. We got Fantasy Warfare, Raw Review, SmackDown Rundown. You can rewatch the midweek wrap up if you want, and we've got the indie news.
5 matches not to miss.
5
Intergender match edition.
In memory of that great match between Chris Dickinson and Kimberly. What are you doing?
He's conducting the invisible orchestra.
Okay. Find a video, like, favorite, subscribe. Let's talk about some wrestling down in the comments. Those ones.
Don't point at me, bro.
Alright.
Much better.
That hurt.
You're old.